Okay, we're recording. So super pumped. Thank you so much for just showing up on your Wednesday night. These are some of my favorite Zooms that we get to host every single week. If you're new here, this is our Wednesday workshop where we get to, there's normally three of us leaders that are hosting it. The leaders change all the time. The tips change all the time. So always make sure that you're showing up and you're inviting your team. It doesn't matter how long you've been around, you're probably all going to be able to take something from this. One of our girls that's talking tonight literally joined the business in December. And she's going to be sharing tips with me. I've been in for 4 years and it's things that I've never learned before. So she's one of my distributors teaching me things tonight, which I'm very excited about. So um, anyways, I'm just going to kind of kick it off with a little bit of my story. I know if you're on my team, you've heard my story a lot lately. So I'm just going to kind of sum it up a little bit. But I'm Caitlin. I know half of us are from America, the other half are from Canada. So I'm from Canada. I've been in this business now for 4 years, and I actually got started. I had 14 cents in my checkings account when I found this opportunity, and never in a million years did I think that I would do something like this. I was that girl that if you ever approached me with your business, I would never be rude to you, but I wouldn't reply. I just saw so many people come and go with opportunities like this that I just didn't think it was something that I wanted to get a part of because I had never heard a success story before. So when I finally said yes to this opportunity, I decided, you know what, I'm going to be the first success story that everybody knows about. And that's exactly what I did. So I started my own team here in Canada, and it's been such a blessing. I actually joined as a full-time university student working 3 jobs on the side, and I wanted to change my life. I got started, and 3 months into the business, I actually was able to quit all 3 of my jobs, and I made this my full-time. I started traveling, so I hopped on a plane, went to South America for the summer, worked my business from there, and it just continued on from there. It took me a long time to promote. I actually didn't even reach the second rank in the company executive until I was 8 months in. But something I'm going to talk about tonight is going to really open up your eyes to how much money you can make here, even though you haven't quite hit a promotion yet. And then I went Ruby 9 months in, I went Emerald 13 months in, and Diamond 14 months in. So I just worked super, super hard, you guys, always. It took me a little bit longer to promote and find my people, but look, I'm still here, and that's why I'm successful. I haven't quit, right? And that's one thing that I came into this business with a vision to just go forever. I didn't have an end date, and I just told myself I'm going to be super successful and make all the money one day. And I knew that the only difference between me and the people at the top is that they've been here longer and that they never left, right? So if I stick around and I work hard through the mountains, through the valleys, I'm going to be just as successful as they are one day. And we are going triple diamond. I'm going to claim it for April. It's been something that's been on my heart literally since the day that I joined, and that's going to be something so huge that I'm excited to cross off my dream board. So that's what's coming. And anyways, I'm just super pumped for tonight. So that's just my story. I'm going to pass it on to Sydney so she can share hers with you guys. And we will move on from there.
Hey, you guys, I am Sydney. I feel like quite a few of you guys know my story, but I might as well just share it again. So, I am Sydney. I am 19 and I live in Nova Scotia, Canada. I joined this business 2 days after my 18th birthday. And before this business, I was a recent high school graduate who was broke and broken. I had been bullied all through high school. I actually went to 3 different high schools and I was just lost. I had no plan in life. I was working full time at a job that I absolutely hated. And I just really had no idea what I wanted in my life. Like I said, I didn't have the friends, I didn't really have any passions, and I was confused. And I came across this business on Facebook, and it was Caitlin posting how she was just living her dream life, how she was a stay at home kitten mom, and just so many things spoke to me, but I had never heard of anything like this before. Like I said, it was 2 days after my 18th birthday, but I reached out anyways, and I was super skeptical. I did not think that I could be successful. I was so worried about what people would think about me doing something different, all of the things. I didn't have time. Literally every excuse in the book, I had it, but I jumped in anyways and decided I've been different my whole life, so I might as well just jump in and continue to do something different that could potentially change my life. And because of this business, my whole entire life has changed. I have been able to adopt 3 kittens and 2 dogs all the way from Texas. I was able to purchase my dream car just a few days after my 19th birthday, move into a bigger apartment and completely furnish it. And right now we're actually saving up for our very first home in July. And I've just been able to do so many incredible things I never thought I'd be able to do, start a savings, but most importantly, just find myself and find my best friends and just find where I truly belonged, all because of one simple decision that I was so terrified to take.
Sorry, I'm typing in the chat. There you go. I'm like distracted. Anyways, that was awesome. I love hearing your story. And you guys, every single time we share our story, even though I feel like you guys have heard it many times, I just always try to throw new things in there that people just haven't heard before. And I still take things from Sydney's story, whether I've heard it before or not. I'm like, wow, like congrats. I'm so glad that you're here and you pushed outside of your comfort zone. You did it anyway. And like, look at all the friends that you have now. And I'm just so thankful for you and for everybody else that's on here. Okay, so Cassidy, I'm gonna have you unmute yourself and share your story. You got this, girl.
Okay, before I even start, I just want to throw props out to Jenna because it looks like you're working out right now, and that's some dedication. Okay, so I guess my story. So I'm 22. I have a daughter. Her name's Peyton. She'll be 2 in May. I am a single mom. Before this, I was an educational assistant. So I worked in the schools because I have a soft spot for kids. But it was just like casual. So it was like on call almost. It wasn't enough. And I don't know what else I have here. I'm gonna have to look. Yeah, so my daughter was in daycare, but daycare is really expensive, especially when you're not working full time. And that became a debt. I also went to college for being an EA, but I went twice, so I have twice the bill. So that's a student loan as well. And I just always kind of struggled in school because I was just a lot. Like I just have a lot of personality. I'm really like, I talk a lot. I'm like, that was always on my report cards. I'm not doesn't work well in groups, very distracting, that one. But I just really wanted to stay home with Peyton because she was like learning to walk, she was learning to crawl, doing all these things, but she was doing it at daycare and she like wasn't with me. And I was like, I just don't like that. So I found Caitlin on Instagram. She didn't even message me first. I reached out to her because I seen her stories. And when I seen her TikToks, one of her TikToks that she shared to Instagram that I love, I commented on today actually. And it's the business one where it's just like, why are you, I don't even know, something about being in my business. And I was just like, yeah, that's pretty relatable. I don't care what other people think. So I just kind of jumped into it. But I also did turn Caitlin down. I was just like, last minute, I was like, you know what, never mind. I don't want to do this. I was like, I just don't have the money for it. And, but she obviously didn't let me go and asked me why. And here I am, I did it anyway. And I'm really happy that I said yes and went through it. So thanks. So yeah, I guess I've earned my shopping spree. I'm blocked for my 3rd promotion. I'm pushing for my 6,500 and the $13,000 one next month. I don't really have like a whole lot of goals. I guess I'm not really dreaming that big. I'm pretty much a really big minimalist. Like I need a new car. My car is broken down. That's also why I can't be an EA anymore. So this just became my full time, like within the last month. And that's really when I just started enrolling all these distributors because I'm like, hey, like this is my full, like this is what I'm doing now. And it just kind of works for me. But yeah. So now I can stay home with her. So I also need to get another car, but being home and not working, I don't really need one as much, but it's definitely on a goal. Yes, plan A, always plan A. I feel like growing up, I always had a plan. I felt like I always had to have a plan B, but it was just kind of didn't work out. And now this is plan A, like there's no other option. And it became more successful when I had no plan B. What else? The conversations, I guess I wrote down, I have 2 conversations for distributors that I went for. So one conversation I'm really, really proud of because Caitlin has been she has been messaging this girl for 2 years and she wouldn't start. So she actually ignored my first 2 messages about starting and then about a hat request. But I still followed up. And she was like, didn't want to do a weight loss thing. Like she seemed really against it, but I still went for it anyway. And I was like, okay, well, you can do a giveaway post. And then I sent her a distributor message because she posted a status and was like, pregnant, I need a job. And I was like, well, why don't you, she specifically said no pyramid schemes. So I messaged her and I'm like, here's this job opportunity, but it's not a pyramid scheme. And I'll give you this. I gave her 3 reasons. I got this off of, I think her name's Shay. She's friends with Morgan Martin because I really like them both. But yeah, like, so I'm not even sure what the 3 reasons were. Like, no, yeah, we sell products where we pay taxes and they're illegal since the 90s. But anyway, after going back and forth, it was really her husband that had been holding her back. So it was really voice messages. I messaged her and I'm like, I can relate to that. My boyfriend wasn't supportive, but there's girls on my team. There's lots of girls on my team that their husbands, their boyfriends weren't supportive. And then as soon as the paychecks started coming in, they ended up joining. Or I'm not sure if their girlfriends run their accounts or what goes on there, but they ended up joining and making the money because why not? So she ended up joining, long story short, and that was I felt really great about that one. The other way that I've been getting distributors is post to post their customers, and then I message them because they don't have enough money to like buy the products. I'm like, well, why don't you like work and get the products for free? And that usually turns the conversation into, and they usually end up joining or on payday, whatever works. So
That's amazing. Can you hear me, Cassie?
yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to say, you guys, the whole reason I had Cassidy come on here tonight is because she has been blowing me away with just how her conversations are working and how she's like can take somebody that's not interested at all to somebody that's super interested, and all of a sudden they just join her team. Like sometimes she'll send me some of her conversations and I'll look at it and it would be somebody that I would just be like, oh, they're not interested, like talk to you later kind of thing. Well, Cassidy keeps it going and they come up with different fears and she really works hard to dig deep into these conversations, and then they turn around and the next thing you know, they're on her team and they're like doing awesome. So I just really wanted her to kind of share that with you. Like, why don't you fill us in, Cassidy, on for example, if you're talking to somebody today that you're talking about coffee or any product, okay, and they tell you they can't afford the product for whatever reason, those people are now joining your team. So what is it that you say to them to get them from that customer conversation to a distributor conversation?
It's actually one of Sydney's messages that she shared. It's on my phone. It's like, well, what about if you got paid to try the products instead? Like, would that be more up your alley? And like, who says no to that? So that usually starts that. And then like I explain what I do and then I explain how it's 60% off. And I'm like, that's $53. $53 basically pays for your license. And then the other, give or take $160 goes towards free products that you can use on yourself and you can promote, or that's just cash that you can sell.
Exactly. And are you doing it a lot through voice memo? Like if someone has fears, do you send voice memos or do you text it all out?
No, I send the first 2 scripts, and even if I send a script and it's like really long, I'll just send a voice memo after and like almost like re-explain it, but like excited and me, I guess. I just talk a lot. So they definitely gonna hear voice memos if you're talking to me.
And I think that's one thing that I love too about your story is you, like you said, in school you talked a lot, and we've had this conversation. Like you put your personality into every conversation that you have. And Cassidy has, you guys, there's people that she's enrolled in her team that I talked to in 2018 and they said no to me, but now they're on her team. And it's her personality, and she's funny and she's just being herself. And when she has these conversations with people, it's like she turns something in their brain that makes them realize that they need this, and then they join. So I think like after listening to this, if there's one thing that you can take from what she just shared tonight is be yourself, show up as you. If you like to talk, get on voice memos. Obviously I try to like answer the questions that they're asking and kind of stay on track, but just put your personality into it. Have fun. If your kid is screaming in the background, like they're going to hear that like you're working this business.
Helps.
Yeah, it helps.
Kids help. Kids help. She's cute and she in the background. I'm like, yeah, my kids just relating to them is super, super helpful.
Exactly. So just be you, show the real you and your personality, and let your kids scream in the background and just call it life, because so many people will relate to that. But thank you so much for sharing that with us tonight. And I might even kind of get some screenshots from you later so we can pass them along, because I've had some requests for that on how your conversations look exactly. But I'm going to pass it over to Sydney and you can kind of go on your topic.
How to find the unmute button. Okay, so I want to talk about a topic that I really struggled with at the beginning of this business, and honestly, I struggled with it today. It's something that every single one of us struggle with, and it's never going to go away. But I wanted to talk about the feeling of being overwhelmed and feeling like there is so many things on the go in your life, in your business, and just how to handle those things, and that it's actually a good thing to feel overwhelmed, as crazy as that sounds. So I used to stress really badly, and even like my boyfriend can like testify to this. I used to stress so badly when I had so many messages coming in and I wasn't answering them right away. I was absolutely terrified that if I didn't answer someone within 30 seconds of them sending that message, that they wouldn't want to join anymore, that they wouldn't want the products anymore, that they wouldn't want to talk to me anymore. But you guys, that is not the case. And so what I did in this situation is I actually don't have my notifications on my phone. So if somebody sends me a message on Facebook, I don't know about it. I don't even have the little banner on where it says how many messages you have on Facebook, because to me personally, that is something that's really overwhelming. And if I'm going crazy with host to post and there's so many conversations on the go, I can't keep my brain focused if I can keep hearing my phone vibrating. So I feel like that's a lot of things that a lot of us struggle with, especially when you're coming into this business and starting it on host to post. Your phone is going to go crazy. So just knowing that it's okay to do things like that. You do not have to be available 24/7 to people. So yeah, I turn those notifications off. And I like, you just have to get over that fear that people are coming to you. People are messaging you. And if they really want the products, then they're going to respond when you have time to respond. And another thing as well, if you have a busy day, I know so many of y'all, you're moms, or you're in school, or you work full time, or you work full time and go to school full time. I don't know what your life looks like, but so many of y'all have super busy days every day or a few times a week. And the thought of having a busy day and working your business and then going home and being a mom or having things to clean, like that scares anybody. That would scare and overwhelm any single person. But what you can do in those times is plan. Never be afraid to use your notes. Never be afraid to plan, put posts in your notes. So I don't know about a lot of y'all in the US, what your team pages look like, but in ours, we have post examples, or you can look at top leaders or other leaders and find post examples. And I personally have a note, like a note section in my phone with post ideas. And there's probably like 20 or 30 in there, just for on a day that I have a really busy day. Maybe I have a bunch of appointments. Maybe I'm going to be traveling when we were able to do that. But I just have a bunch of post examples in my notes so that when I have a busy day ahead, I don't need to stress. I don't need to stress about looking for a post or copying one or finding one that best suits my day. I just have a ton in my notes planned, ready to go, because you guys, nobody is going to know that you copied and pasted that post from your notes. Nobody is going to have any idea. I know a lot of us think that we need to be writing these posts every single day. We need to be putting a lot of thought into our posts, into our stories every single day, but that isn't the case. You're allowed to use the post examples that you are given. You're allowed to use like posts from other leaders and put your own twist on them. You're allowed to prep in advance. You don't have to be doing things right in the moment. So knowing that you have the freedom to plan things, you have the freedom to turn off your notifications because this is your business, is something that it took a lot of time for me to learn. That it took a lot of time for me to learn that I was in complete control of everything, and my success and who I was answering, what I was doing. You are in complete control of all of that. And you're allowed to set those boundaries. boundaries. You're allowed to put your phone down. You're allowed to take a break. I mean, anybody that has known me for any amount of time knows I'm the worst person ever at taking breaks. Like I have to literally force myself to take a break. A break for me is having a shower. But just know that you are allowed to take a break. You're allowed to turn off your phone. You're allowed to take 3 hours to yourself. Even if your inbox is full, you're allowed to turn off your phone and just take some time to yourself, because you are the most important person in this business, because this is your business and this business doesn't work if you aren't at your best. So just knowing that you're allowed to set those boundaries, because you are going to be the one that's going to benefit from it. And give yourself grace, especially if you're just starting out, if you're still new. Know that this is different. Know that it is okay to feel overwhelmed. You're never going to, like when you first start, you're never going to feel completely ready. You're never going to feel like you have any idea what you're doing. You're not going to feel like you can handle it every single day, because I can't handle it every single day, you guys. You are going to feel overwhelmed, and I want you to be okay with that, because it's something new, it's something different. You're going to feel overwhelmed whether you're working a job at a hospital or here or anything. It's a fact of life. So just give yourself grace and don't be afraid to ask questions. Yes, your enroller checks in here and there, but never be afraid to go to them with questions. Never be afraid to go to them with tips, with like concerns, asking for tips on how to take a break or how to relax or self-development, but never just be afraid to communicate. Never be afraid to reach out, and just know that we all started where every single one of you are. We all started so scared. We all started so confused about what to do with an inbox full of messages, or getting posts up, or feeling like we need to do the perfect thing. We all started from start, and it's normal to feel overwhelmed. So just know that, and don't get even more stressed about being overwhelmed, because I promise you it happens to every single person, probably multiple times a week, multiple times a day. It's completely normal, and just give yourself grace in those periods, and know that you're allowed to set those boundaries and take a little break if you need one.
Boom. That's good. I actually wrote on my dream board this year, I had little quotes on there. Right here, it says, I'd rather be overwhelmed than underwhelmed. And that doesn't really make sense, but it's something that I heard a lot of people say going into this year. And because me being overwhelmed, that was the thing that I really struggled with, honestly, for a while, you guys. But now I would rather have a full inbox than not. So I'm going to put in the work to get that full inbox, so I know I have enrollments coming in, and I'll just take it at my pace, like Sydney said. So can you guys see me as like the speaker view? I want to make sure that it's recording properly. I still see Sydney. I don't know. Anyways, okay, I'm going to go into my topic. So what I want to talk about tonight is something that I just feel like everybody needs extra training on this always, no matter what rank you're at, how long you've been in. But especially for anybody who is newer here, I want to make sure you know all the different ways that we can get paid in this business. So how do you make money with It Works? Okay. Everybody knows there's a commissions check that we have come in on the 15th of every single month. So if you're brand new, that very first commissions check for you, any customers that you bring in the month of February, you will be paid on in the month of March. So March 15th is when you're going to be paid on everything that's happening this month or prior. But the thing is, you guys, when I shared my story at the beginning of the Zoom, I was saying that I didn't even reach the second rank in our business until I was 8 months in. And so my commissions check when I quit my 3 jobs and did this full time was just over $100. I wasn't living off of that. Okay. So that's just one way that we get paid, but I don't want you to sit around and wait for that paycheck to grow. I always say Rome was not built in a day. So that's the paycheck that's going to take time to grow, but eventually it's going to be your biggest paycheck ever. My very first month in this business, my first paycheck was $17. I was only in for 2 weeks and I had 2 customers under me. But 17 months into this business, I was being paid as a double diamond, which in Canada averages around $6,000 a month. So that check is going to grow. You're going to earn bonuses that comes onto that paycheck, all kinds of stuff. So that's the first way that we get paid, is through commissions. The next way that we get paid is called fast start bonuses, and you can earn an unlimited amount of fast start bonuses. In Canada, it's $200. In the United States, it's $150. So when you help somebody get started on your team, okay, so your first goal, you just launched your business, your first goal is to get 6 loyal customers. That gives you a $200 shopping spree. Then you're going to start working on building your team. You want to get 3 distributors on your team for that next rank, okay? For each of these people that join you, when you have somebody join your team and you help them become successful in their business and you help them get their first 6 customers, you're going to get fast start bonuses. So that's in Canada. Actually, I'm going to give United States numbers, okay? So $50 American for every 2 customers that you help your distributor get. So if you help them get 2, that's $50. You help them get 2 again, that's $50. You help them get 2 again, that's $50. They have their 6, you have your full 150. In Canada, it's 200, okay? So you guys, this is one of the ways, like this is what I was living off of. In the very beginning of my business, I had weeks where I had $1,300 Canadian coming in bonuses. So that was like my highest month ever. Let's just put that on the table. But that just goes to show you what you can do with fast start bonuses. Some weeks it would be $100. Some weeks it would be less. Some weeks you get a lot more. So you are in complete control over how many bonuses you're going to have coming in. You just have to help people launch their business and help them become successful, help them get their first few customers. So make sure that you're not just signing someone up and not training them. If you don't properly know how to train people, ask your upline, right? They're training you and they can help you with that. That's part of their training, okay? So get help with your distributors, create that duplication. And once you get your people enrolling, and you help them enroll, that's a lot of money in your pocket. The other thing that I lived off of in the beginning was product cash, and still to this day, I have like another board on my wall over here with all kinds of thermometers on it. Type in on Google or Pinterest, look up like a thermometer, print yourself off a thermometer and make yourself a goal for how much money you want to bring in product cash each month and how much money you want to bring in fast start bonuses, and get that thermometer out, put the number at the top for what you're striving for and make that your goal. And as you are like bringing in money, you can just highlight it and keep like getting up on those increments or whatever on your thermometer. So I just find that's fun. I like a visual. I love to highlight things. So to me, that's just crossing it off as I go, and you can really track what you're striving for. So we don't have the sample app here in Canada, but for those of you that do, it's a little bit easier. But I sell a ton of wraps and also coffee, and I just wanted to kind of tell you how I do it. So if you're in my team page, we have under our post sample section, we have so many different options on like actual sample posts that you can put up. So just go straight there and you'll find lots. But let's say I put a post up about our coffee, okay? So I'm going to try to find a post actually that worked really well for me, just to kind of give you a visual of what it looks like. So you put a post up, you let people know that you have coffee samples, and they're going to comment. You won't always get a lot of comments in the beginning, especially if you're brand new, because not everybody knows what the coffee is yet. But if you're doing a ton of hosted posts and you're bringing in new potentials all the time, all of these people that are coming in from your hosted posts are going to be the first people to comment on your coffee sample post. So here's like, this is probably one of my most successful ones yet. And you can borrow my picture, go for it. So here's my super cute picture that I took because I had a lot of coffee here at home. And then I put my caption with it. So it says, y'all have been asking for it. Here it is. I got 120 skinny coffee samples to be packaged up and shipped out this weekend. Who wants to try? And I said results in the comments. I always put results pictures in the comments so that people can see what the coffee does, but also to show people that there's already comments and it gets more people replying for info. So they're going to comment on it and they're going to say, I'm interested. So that's when I send them a message and I say, hey, Carrie, in this case, I said, I'm actually packaging up coffee samples as we speak. They're going out in the morning. I always tell them they're going out this afternoon. They're going out in the morning. That's urgency. You want them to send that money over fast because you're heading to the post office like in a couple hours or tomorrow morning. Okay. So I said they're going out in the morning. You can get 3 cups for $20 or 5 cups for $30. This is Canadian pricing. How many would you like? And I actually send 2 pictures with it. I'll show you what my conversation looks like. These are just like an example of testimonies. Okay, so these are people's testimonies for the coffee. And I send that right in my conversation so they can read people saying, like, I just lost this many pounds, or my energy is amazing. And then this person just replies back and says 5. So I said, sound good. You can send it through e-transfer or Venmo or PayPal. Just let me know once it's on its way and I'll confirm that I got it. I'm so excited for you. She says it's sent. Okay, it's that fast. Not every person jumps, but I'm telling you, you're going to get coffee cash a lot faster than you're going to get loyal customers. And for a long time, I shied away from making coffee cash because I kept telling myself, I want the customers instead. But you guys, get the coffee cash, because here's the thing. The people that are coming to these posts are the people that have been telling me over and over and over again that they're going to order as a customer, and they still haven't. So if you can get them in the door with the coffee samples, so they're spending less and they get to try it instead of like doing the whole 90-day thing, get them in the door with the coffee samples. And I promise you, a lot of the time, they're going to become a customer. Like, there's actually someone on this Zoom right now, I'm not going to give names. She ordered coffee samples from me. Okay. Before the coffee samples even arrived to her, she ordered wraps the very next day. Before she got the wraps, I'm pretty sure she became a loyal customer before she even tried the products. Okay. So it was just, that was her way of kind of getting in the door. Then she recommended her daughter to me, who's also on this Zoom right now, and they're both in the business, both of them. Okay. So I got her on with the coffee samples in the beginning, and they've ordered coffee or samples from me a few times. And now they're both on my team and they're both absolutely killing it in the business. So sell those coffee samples, get them in the door, because it might just change your whole world. And then same for the wraps. I put a post up for that today, actually. Here's the status that I really like to use. So it says, I have 24 skinny wraps on hand that I'm selling individually for those who want to try. Results posted in the comments. And then I get some comments and I reach out to them. And I always say the same thing. So I just basically tell them what the wraps are. It's like my script to explain what they're all about, because most people don't know. And then the next message says samples are going out today for $35 each, or a full treatment of 4 for $100. I'm still selling the old wraps. Like, I'm ordering in as many as I can because I can get more money with those. So I offer like the full package of 4 for $100. And I said, how many would you like? And I send a whole bunch of before and after pictures with it. Okay. So that's what my conversations look like. You always want to have results right in front of them so they know exactly what they're getting. This person says back, I would like to get the $100 worth. So she went with the full package, the full treatment. And any chance that I have someone kind of on edge, honestly, I'll send voice memos and recommend the full treatment, because we always say 1 wrap is a treat, 4 is a full treatment. So if you really want them to be happy with the results, have them get the full treatment and they're going to be back to become a customer. And follow up with them just like you do with anybody else. I always find that they come back, they become a customer. I also put a thank you card in whenever I send out my samples. So if they're getting coffee, I'll throw in a sample of our chocolate greens, because they get to just try it. It's just like 1 or 2 chocolate greens that I throw in, so that when they do order as a loyal customer, they get the chocolate greens with their package, because I just threw in that sample. And I put a thank you card that basically says, if you love the coffee as much as I do, if you love the wraps as much as I do, send me a message before February 28th, and I'm going to set you up with my 50% off promo code. So you're putting urgency right in that card as well, so that they come back. Amy, your comments, thank you, girl. So that they come back and be like, hey, I want to become a customer. So then end of the month, there's some volume that you didn't necessarily count on. Erica, I'm going to send them to you so that you can share them with your team, and I'll put the rest of them in my chat for my girls. And I can share a few posts with you as well, Erica, that work really well for me for samples, but I love it. And honestly, at Christmas time, you guys, I think there was like just literally a span of 6 days where I made over $600 off of products right before Christmas. Like, no hesitation. People were just sending me money. It was fast. And that pays for Christmas presents. It pays for bills. Like, that money can go towards anything and everything. If you have a hair appointment, I had a hair appointment earlier this month. And so I sold some coffee the day before and I used that to pay for my appointment. Today we had a boom contest in our team page. We had a goal to reach 100 booms. And then once we reached 100 booms, I was going to send somebody $50. Well, that $50 came from coffee cash. So I'm just like circulating the money that I'm making and putting it into my team or other things that are happening in my life. I hope I didn't miss any questions. I love that you guys like blow up the chat. It like gives me confidence, but I also can't read it at the same time. Okay, how much do you sell then? I'll give Erica the details because the Canadian pricing. Oh, I think Marie's actually Canadian. I'll put it in our group chat, and either Sydney will get it to you or you'll see it in there if you're in there. But yeah, so I'm gonna kind of finish off with that tonight, you guys. But thank you again so much for showing up. Just remember that being a part of stuff like this is what's going to take your business to the next level, and just getting in with the community and in with the fire. And I know sometimes we don't feel like hopping on these Zooms, but we can always take something from it. And I'd love to see you go make that coffee cash tomorrow. I'd love to see you go build your team, or just feel like you're a little bit more comfortable now with the full inbox and things like that, and just know that you have control over your business and you can go as far as you want with this. So I wish you all the luck this week, and just work super, super hard to finish strong. Bring in as many customers and distributors as you can, and don't ever be afraid to ask questions to your leaders when you have them. And yeah, I hope everybody has an awesome night. Thanks for hopping on.